Welcome to Case Chronicles by Case Radar, a podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of court cases and judgments. I'm David Dio, your host, and together we'll explore the stories behind some of the most significant legal discussions, unraveling the complexities of the law one case at a time. Whether you're a legal professional, a law student, or just someone with a keen interest in justice, Case Chronicles by Case Radar is here to provide you with insightful analysis and compelling narratives straight from the courtroom. So, sit back, relax, and join us as we journey through the intricacies of the legal system, shedding light on the rulings that shape our society. Let's get started.
Welcome back, Case Radar community, and you're listening to Case Chronicles, the podcast that dives deep into fascinating legal battles across Nigeria. I'm your host, David Dio, and today's case, to just quickly get into it, is the case of Ambassador David Ademola Adejuwon versus the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade, and Investment. This episode will explore an intriguing legal battle with diplomatic repercussions, and the case was judged in the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, presided over by Honorable Justice O.A. Obaseki Osayi, and the final judgment was delivered on March 12, 2024. So, buckle up and let's dive into the details. Our story begins with Ambassador David Ademola Adejuwon, a seasoned diplomat who was appointed as Nigeria's ambassador to the World Trade Organization in Geneva, Switzerland, back in 2014. His appointment was endorsed by then-President Goodluck Jonathan, and his diplomatic mission was one of national significance. Everything was fine until September 2016, when Ambassador Adejuwon officially retired from the Federal Civil Service after 35 years of service. Now, you might expect that this would be the end of his diplomatic career, right? But there was only one problem. Ambassador Adejuwon was not recalled. No letter of recall was issued by the ministry, no successor appointed, and this is the best part to me, his foreign service allowance was stopped abruptly. Now, despite his retirement, Adejuwon was left stranded in Geneva. He had no formal exit from his role, no payment of his repatriation entitlements, and no successor to whom he could hand over his duties. For years, he stayed in diplomatic limbo, and he was technically still Nigeria's ambassador to the WTO, but just without the financial support that should have come with the position. Now, by 2017, Adejuwon has had enough. He filed a suit against the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade, and Development, demanding his repatriation allowance, unpaid foreign service allowances, and compensation for the hardship he endured due to the ministry's failure to officially end his posting. His total claim, a whopping $1,997,470.17 and an additional 5.5 million naira in various compensations and legal fees. Representing Ambassador Adejuwon in court was Adebayo Enwaye and Peter Kayode Abodunrin, while the ministry was defended by Chief State Counsel Oluwafemi Kolusade. Adejuwon's claims were substantial. He brought repatriation entitlement of $48,000, unpaid foreign services allowance of $15,796 per month for 36 months, amounting to $568,296, daily compensation of $600 per day for unlawful stoppage of his foreign service allowance, totaling $1,033,800. Compensation for trips from Geneva to Nigeria to pursue his entitlements, valued at $4.5 million, and legal fees of $1.6 million and local repatriation costs of $2.5 million naira. Now, the ministry wasn't going down without a fight. They filed a counterclaim, accusing Adejuwon of locking up the official ambassadorial residence in Geneva since 2016, preventing access for more than 67 months. And they argued that this caused significant financial loss and deterioration of the property. The ministry demanded $804,000 in lost revenue, $447,635 in building renovations, and interest on these sums. Essentially, they argued that Adejuwon's actions had hurt the government's finances and prestige on the international stage. Now, imagine this. This man is left in limbo, representing Nigeria abroad without pay, while the government accuses him of holding diplomatic property hostage. Tension must have been high in the courtroom because Adejuwon's legal team focused on the ministry's failure to follow due process, and they highlighted the fact that no successor had been appointed and that Adejuwon was still expected to serve as ambassador despite his retirement. They also emphasized that the ministry had failed to recall him properly and provide the necessary financial support for his repatriation. The ministry, however, pushed back hard, claiming that Adejuwon had violated his duties by locking up the official residence in Geneva and causing significant financial loss. They argued that his actions were unjustified and that the ministry had gone to great lengths to settle the dispute out of court, only for Adejuwon to reject their offers. And now, for the moment we've been waiting for, what did the judge have to say about this? After considering the evidence carefully, the court ruled in favor of Ambassador Adejuwon. The court acknowledged that Adejuwon's foreign service allowance had been stopped unlawfully and that the ministry had failed to recall him officially, which left him stranded in his diplomatic post. Justice Obaseki Osaye ordered the ministry to pay Adejuwon $48,082.17 as repatriation of entitlements, $568,296 for 36 months of unpaid foreign service allowance, 4.5 million naira as compensation for his trips to pursue his entitlements, 2.5 million naira for local repatriation from Abuja to Ibadan, 1.6 million naira in legal fees. And interestingly, the court refused Adejuwon's claim for daily compensation for the stoppage of his foreign service allowance, as he had already been compensated for the unpaid allowance. Additionally, the court denied Adejuwon's request to compel the ministry to renew his diplomatic passport and obtain a Schengen visa, as this involved the Nigeria Immigration Service, which was not a party to the suit. But that wasn't all, though. The ministry's counterclaim for lost revenue and damages was dismissed. The court had found that the ministry had failed to prove its claims of lost revenue and deterioration of the property. So, what can we learn from this case? I think that what I see here is the importance of adhering to diplomatic procedures, because even after retirement, Adejuwon remained technically Nigeria's representative to the World Trade Organization, because the ministry failed to recall him properly. And it just serves as a reminder that bureaucratic oversight can have serious personal and financial consequences, because he'd been stuck there in diplomatic limbo for years. Access to family, we don't even know how he was surviving. And then he also emphasizes the rights of employees, especially those who are in public service, that they should be treated fairly and they should be treated in accordance with the law. Adejuwon's perseverance serves as a lesson to all employees not to give up when faced with institutional delays or maybe some unjust actions. And finally, the dismissal of the ministry's counterclaim shows that claims of financial loss must be backed by super solid evidence. And in this case, the ministry failed to prove that Adejuwon's actions had caused the damages they claimed. Guys, I think that these episodes have been so cool, and I think that they've been really interesting stuff. Because, this case was settled this year, and, this was the decision of the court. I hope you had a great time listening today, and I will see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Case Chronicles by Case Radar. We hope you found this deep dive into the legal intricacies both informative and engaging. Until next time, this is your host signing off.